some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
What up, perps? Kid Copious, back in the bunker, Purple State Party. You know what we're representing here. America, the center, common sense, and these things. Puppers. So, alright, let's just jump right into it. The other icon that we lost is Miss PacMan. Yeah, I don't know why, but I guess there's a dispute over the rights to the character. And in upcoming PacMan games, you know, reboots, things like that, there will not be a Miss PacMan. There's going to be a Pac Mom. I don't know. I mean, hey, it's 2022. Shouldn't that be Pac Birthing Person? But yeah, the last time we saw her was in 2014. I actually have a Miss PacMan machine here in the studio. Growing up, I went to great lengths to play Miss PacMan. One of those lengths was they had it at a local hotel way back in the days when they had paper registration sign-in sheets, you know. And we'd wait until the person was distracted or left. We would go up and we'd look at the reservation book and we would get a name and a room number. And if we were stopped while playing Miss PacMan in the hotel's arcade, you know, we had a name and a room number. And, you know, that's just how we did it. So it's going to be sad to know that future generations may not know who Miss PacMan is. It's an awesome game, you know. I always loved chasing down a pretzel. I don't know what it was. It was so satisfying about the pretzel. But I love the pretzel. Yeah, you know. I really like this one. I'm going to leave Twitter if Elon Musk takes over as the new I'm going to move to Canada if Trump wins. And that's the kind of situation that we find ourselves in this country. We're so divided. You know, we're so divided. And even though, as we're going to see, polls don't really support the divide, it feels that way because we literally have propaganda machines out there just trying to keep us right and left. And, you know, Twitter provides an opportunity for people to discuss things and maybe come to some common ground. And maybe that's what scares both the Republicans and the Democrats, is they don't want us moving away from those two camps. You know, and if that's what the politicians are scared of, then it must mean that that's the right path. I mean, this is America, and I think this goes for America and all the countries of the world. You know, the citizens need to do what scares the government, because the government is supposed to work for the citizens, not the other way around. And that's certainly not how it feels in California. That's certainly not how it feels under Brandon here. It feels like we're working to pay taxes. You know? And it makes deal with ghost in historic ghost gun compromise. It's scary to see this. You know, a lot of people were triggered and frightened by Trump. I mean, come on. We've got a guy leading this country who does not seem capable anymore. And we're only a little more than a year in. And his replacement, Kamala Harris, she's as bad as he is. Neither one of them are competent. Neither one of them are willing to stand up for America and for what makes sense. They're absolutely placating the far left. And they don't care what their agenda costs us. They don't care that a lot of their goals are unachievable. They're going to waste our money on these goals, and then they're going to pass that loss onto us in the form of higher taxes by, hey, you know, you tax corporations more, they're not going to pay as much. They're going to raise their price on goods and services. And quite frankly, I'm more on the side of the corporations than I am on the side of the government at this point. So this is where ghost hunting also came in. Ted Cruz posting this. Anyone? Biden sticks out his hand and appears to shake thin air. And it certainly looks like he did. And then he just kind of turns his back to the crowd and wanders off. It is scary. But what's even more scary than our president looking like the confused senior that he is that he tried to blame 70% of the increase in inflation as the Putin price hike. They literally think that we are so stupid as to believe this. Prices were going up. Pure and simple. I'm sure the war in Ukraine has not helped. Okay? But it's not 70% of the problem. The problem is that we're no longer energy independent. Refer back to what we were talking about a little while ago. Rising fuel costs, rising transportation costs, rising consumer prices. That's how it works. And this is what I'm talking about. You know, less than 10% of Americans see COVID as a serious crisis, yet they're plowing ahead. They want to have the breathalyzer to test for COVID. They still have mandates on planes. Philadelphia just put their mandate back in place. But only less than 10% of Americans even care anymore. Biden's approval ratings are in the toilet. Voters like candidates who fund the police and expand U.S. oil production. But they don't want to do that because that's not their agenda. And they don't care what we want. Apologist press is raving mad for Biden, but Americans say otherwise. And again, they just simply ignore it. They ignore it. And the worst part is they then turn around and accuse people of ignoring the climate emergency or ignoring systemic racism. They're trying to drive a narrative. And I don't care what side is trying to drive the narrative. I'll be honest with you. I don't care if it's CNN or Fox News. The media is supposed to give us the facts, and then we make up our own mind. It seems as though race, gender identity, and green energy is all they care about. And those aren't really the problems that are facing us right now, are they? Green energy is decades, maybe even generations away from being viable. And that's what they care about. Gender identity? Really not something we need to worry about. Low percentage of people, we got other things to focus in on. Keep them out of women's sports because it's an unfair advantage. Yeah, that's pretty good. Kids' education. The education system is an indoctrination system. That's what it is. The news is the propaganda. The schools are the indoctrination center. The fuck are we trying to run here, folks? So earlier we were talking about them ignoring the polls. And this is one of the ones that to me really explains it. You know, it cuts across the disapproval of the president. You can see what's there. He's underwater with white. But he has only 26% approval among Hispanic adults. And I'm beginning to think that Hispanics as a whole are probably the purple people. They seem to get it. But what's wild about all this is knowing that the Hispanic approval rating is at 26%. They think the way to fix it is handouts to illegal aliens and opening the border. And that's exactly why Hispanic voters disapprove of Biden. They're here in America. I've yet to find anyone of any Hispanic nationality from any Hispanic country that agrees with Latinx or agrees with open borders. But yet, they just keep running at it because that's their fucking agenda. Both sides are going to find, hopefully soon, that their agenda will be their death knell. Hopefully. Zookeeper scrambled to vaccinate all lizards after hearing Pelosi got COVID. That looks like a beardy. Jimmy Carter arrested for putting Biden I did that stickers on gas pumps. Carter was just a fool. And he was another one who was not respected. The Iranians took all of our hostages, our students' hostages, and they didn't do anything until Reagan came into office, and they quickly gave them back. Joe Biden holds annual performance reviews, giving Americans an 8.5% pay cut. Can't tell me it's anything else but that. Meanwhile, the people in the top 10% are making more money, and they're fine because they're the ones whose goods are being bought for more. They're the ones who just raise their prices. But I don't get to raise my wages. Do you? Huh? You drive a forklift? You lift boxes? You put boxes on trucks for Amazon? Do you get to raise your wages? No. After being denied tattoo, sixth grader decides to have gender reassignment surgery instead. Yeah. Skewered. Liberal worried that the next COVID-19 wave might be too mild to use to push to agenda. It's coming. Illegal immigrants flee back to Mexico after being dropped off in crime-ridden wasteland. Yeah. I guess we're still doing okay because we're still seeing these waves of people coming from other countries. Once that wave stops, then we're really in trouble, I guess. Leftists warn that if they can't ban opposing viewpoints, they'll have to actually defend their beliefs. Nuclear launch codes to be stored securely on CNN Plus broadcasts where no one will ever see them. Yeah, nobody needs more propaganda. Every time somebody sees that as propaganda, they're going to leave CNN. And I think it's too late for them. AOC drops legislation opposing ghost guns. Ghosts don't even need guns since they're already dead. Yeah. I can hardly wait till she's gone, and yet I'm dreading the day because she's such easy cannon fodder. BLM leaders call for renewed protests this summer after finding a fantastic beach house for sale on Zillow. Yeah, that's true. That's exactly what's going on. Look, maybe their intentions were good at one point, but I think that ceased. I believe that they were a Marxist organization that just needed to hide behind something. And since they were Black Lives Matter makes sense. I don't think they ever had good intentions. But if they did, the influx of money from a couple summers ago seems to have corrupted them. And my favorite of the week right here, Biden meeting one of his 81 million voters. I thought it was 82 million, but that's awesome. Except for the fact that that's the guy that's running the country. When we are all stuck in one of two camps, we must agree with our tribe. But with a viable third party, we can explore solutions free of political rhetoric. And that's what I'm trying to do here. Just, we can't just subscribe to these two extremes anymore. We have to come together in the middle. We have to. We have to tell these ingrained politicians who have figured out how to become incredibly wealthy off of our taxes to stop promoting their agenda over our needs. It's time to end that. It's time to take the power back. Copious out.